What's going on, YouTube? It's James with Highborn Fantasy Battle Reports, and I got Game 5 of Buckeye Battles. Not only is it Game 5 of Buckeye Battles, but it's my 100th 9th Age Battle Report. Can you guys believe that? 100 episodes of James saying, "What's going on, YouTube?" That's crazy. Now I got this opponent, Kelly Wheaton. If you guys have watched all of my videos up to this point, all my Buckeye Battles videos up to this point, I am undefeated. I went 4 rounds undefeated. Win, big win, small win, medium wins, whatever. So right now, I'm in the lead for Best Orc and Goblin General. Now I have a couple people right on my ass for Best Orc and Goblin General. First off is Gene Phelps. Gene Phelps is from Wargaming from the Balcony, and he is in the table right next to me. And then not only is he in the table right next to me, his friend that came with him from like Virginia or North Carolina, wherever he came from, is the guy I'm playing. And he's like, dude, he goes, I've seen this exact setup before. This happened to me at Brawler's Bash for Best Orc and Goblin General. James was in the neck and neck with me, and my buddy let me down, Joey Jarbo. And he's like, so, Kelly, don't let me down. Kick James's ass. And I was like, God damn it, Gene. Why you got to put pressure on the guy for? So, not only that, but Ben Nelson from Warhammer is on my ass. And not only that, but Joe from Johio Hammer, he's probably the loosest one back there. He's kind of like down in points. He had a couple big massacre wins, but then he had a couple close games and one or two losses. So if he gets a huge win and I don't, he could jump ahead of me. So this is just kind of like, I gotta play this game out. I'm going for that Best Orc and Goblin General. I am on one of the top tables, but I am not at the top table. That is going on between Andrew motherfucking Sherman and Mr. Once Bitten. So the top podcaster for 9th Age versus the top YouTuber for 9th Age at the top event in the United States. That is crazy. That is some crazy shit right there. Anyways, so this game, I'm playing against Kelly Wheaton, and he's bringing out his Highborn Elves. And I'm going to go ahead and show you this little aerial view of my army here, because I have a very bad, I didn't take pictures of my army for whatever fucking reason. I honestly thought I would get a picture of it all together later and just use that, but then I ended up not doing it, because like I told you in one of my older videos and one of my other tournament videos, and whenever I set it up, my brother's usually the one there. He's like, come on, let's go eat, you know, and I'm like, ah, shit, I gotta go. So I just set up my guys, usually leave it there for paint judging and just book it. And I also don't want to be that asshole who's just sitting there taking pictures of my own army. Anyways, so as you can see, this aerial view here, I got 2 gargantuan spiders. I've been splitting them up. I've been putting them on both flanks every game. I think only one game I put them next to each other, but I feel like this has been working pretty well for me. I just keeping one on a flank a piece, because they can kind of take a flank on their own. They're pretty they're very useful that way. I do have 20 crossbow orcs with heavy armor. I do have a unit of 34 orc Ed Bashers with spears. I have a couple characters in that unit. I have the BSB. I have my general. General is Boss Rocksteady. Boss Rocksteady is rocking basically the same setup that Dread had, except he doesn't have his wyvern. I do have a unit of Nasher Dashers, a small unit of Chaff Wolf Riders. I have 2 Rock Lobbers. I have 2 Shamans. One's a Gobbos Shaman with an extra spell, so he has 3 Gobbos spells, and then the other one's an Orc Shaman, which is 2 Orc spells. And then I have King Koopa, and King Koopa is a 1-up, 4-up goblin on a spider, on a whatever they are, the Huntsman spider. Now, I have a unit of 6 cave trolls, and I think that's about it. I might be missing something, but you'll notice it right away. As for my opponent, I have a couple pictures here of what he has. He has a unit of these Northern Sea Guard. They're going to go ahead and ambush, so they're going to pop out in like around 2 from the backside. Now, if you watch my games against Dan, I just kind of let these guys pop, and I usually just kill them with the spiders. That's kind of not what happened. That didn't really happen in this game. You'll see it when it happens. Over here he has a unit of 20 spearmen, high elf spearmen. Now here's the deal. This guy, since he's a regular against Gene, it's his friend, they always play each other, and Gene plays an Orc and Goblin army. He saw that I have 2 rock lobbers, he saw I had 2 web launchers, and he's thinking to himself like, holy shit, he's gonna just drop rocks on me. So he decided to put his guys out in thin lines, like 1 to 2 inch or 1 to 2 rank lines like so, to avoid the casualty loss from a giant rock. He goes ahead and he has a unit of like 18 to 20 sword bastards, a unit of 5 Elaine Reavers. He has a bolt thrower back there, and he has another bolt thrower back there. He has his general on the Griffin, which is on the right. I'll show you a better picture a little bit later. He has the bitches with bows in the front. Only 5 of them though. He has a unit of archers, about like 10 to 15 archers. They do have a level 2 wizard with them. One of them is a level 2 wizard of beasts. The other one is a level 2 wizard of shadow. He has 2 warhawks. He has a BSB on a warhawk. And then on this side over here, he has a frost phoenix, and he has a unit of like 5 to 7 knights of Rima, with another level 2 lore of shadow or beasts, one of those two. And then, like I said, the other bolt thrower. So basically, that's his army. Now here's the deal. We have, let me show you the magic real quick. For magic, I ended up getting Fix It Up, Curse of the Green Moon, Evil Eye, Get 'em Lads, and Zap. I actually rolled for the Foot of Gork, or I'm sorry, the Big Stomp. And what ended up happening was I looked at it and I was like, will I be able to use this? He's doing everything in lines. I'm gonna try to roll a high ass cast. I'm due for a massive freaking miscast and blow up half my army and suck in my wizard into the void. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to use it. I'm going to keep the Get 'em Lads, and I just have a feeling I might need this against the Highborn Elves. So, yeah, that's what I ended up doing. So we ended up lining up like this, and this is already going into the Vanguard. I dropped my whole army off first, and I kind of just did this corner deployment because I knew I wanted to take first turn. So he goes ahead and he drops his army off across from me like so. Now here's the deal. Our objective, we have one character in our core units. Mine's in my unit of Orcs, his is in a unit of archers with the mage. These are the messengers. Now the whole objective of this game right now is to get our messenger off the table on the other side of the table. So I have to go across, he has to go across, right? So at first I wasn't really planning on doing that. I was planning on doing my normal strategy, corner hammer. I'm just going to go ahead and shoot at him. But since he's lined up with like in 1 to 2 ranks, he's not going to be steadfast on anything I fight. And I will always be steadfast on everything I fight. So I was just like, I think I should just book it across the table. It was just like a realization moment, like, I am definitely going to start booking it. Anyways, so it's going to go ahead and start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins, turn 1, and guess what? I go ahead and I do that. I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to go straight up. So I move up the trolls, I move up my orcs. I'm not really worried about anything on the left side. The Swordmasters kind of bug me, but not really. There's not any characters in that unit to make it even deadlier, and I'm going to have to focus on thinning them down. He made one crucial flaw in the beginning of the game. He put his bitches with bows on the line where my crossbows can see them, so I saw that right away. I didn't point it out. I tried to not make it obvious so that way I could get them and kill them right off the on turn 1. I'm keeping my squig hoppers back just for the ambushers. I have my spider riders, or my 2 gargantulas on the flanks, protecting the flanks like so. And I move up my chicken rock just a little bit so I could web launch, but at the same time move up. Magic phase, I got 12 power dice. I got so many fucking dice, and I don't have enough spells to use. Oh my god! So I go ahead and I do Evil Eye, and he stops it. I go ahead and I do Fix It Up onto these girls because I want them, if they're gonna live or if they're gonna get an armor save, I'm gonna want to stop them from doing that. I actually should have done it in reverse, but whatever. Shooting phase, I'm going to shoot the web launcher into his Knights of Rima. I want them to slow down, not come at me right away, and it goes ahead and hits them, but I don't get a single wound that goes through the armor. Over here I shoot this one at his spearman, and it just I think I just shot it out at his sword bastards, but it drifted off, didn't do shit. The rock lava, I'm gonna shoot the rock lobber into his bolt thrower. Now this is something that Len taught me. Len taught me if I hit the rock lobber onto a bolt thrower, an ordnance will automatically kill a bolt thrower, especially an elf bolt thrower. So I go ahead and I do it, and it drifts off just a little bit, it clips it, and I roll the 6, and I did 1 wound. Oh, that's horrible though, man. That was kind of like, yeah, it did 1 wound. Whoop-de-frickin' do. What else is it gonna, like, who's gonna finish the other wound? That's the part that sucks. Alright, over here, I'm gonna shoot these crossbow orcs into his bitches with bows, and boom! Take out 4 of the 5. That last one stuck there, unfortunately, and I was just like, why couldn't you kill the last one? But it doesn't really matter. We're going to go ahead and start off Highborn Elves, turn 1. Highborn Elves, turn 1. He moves up everybody, his archers and everybody, because he doesn't really have range on some of his units, and he has this flying circus on the right side. I don't have a picture of it for whatever reason. It's game 5. I'm trying to hurry it up. We're just trying to get through the game. So magic phase, he got 11 power dice, and he goes ahead. He has the Beast Within, and he has Shadow Miasma and something else. So he did something with Shadow. He tried to lower my toughness on my spider, and I was just like, you know what? No, I'm going to Dispel Scroll that. So I do. I Dispel Scroll it. He goes ahead and he does the Beast Within onto these Warhawks, and his thought process is, if he does it to these Warhawks, it's going to give him a... I'm going to have a hard time shooting them with my crossbow orcs, because now they're T5. So I let it go through, because I don't even think I let it go through. I think I just missed entirely. I think he tried to do a miasma. I stopped it on my crossbow orcs. Then he did this, and I just couldn't stop it. So, shooting phase, these archers over here, they're going to start shooting onto my war machine. They end up doing 1 wound onto the war machine, and basically that is it. That's how the table looks. He misses 2 shots with the bolt throwers. I think he tried to do single shots into my spider, and it just didn't happen. So it's gonna go ahead and start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins, turn 2. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, this game goes pretty fast. I'm gonna be honest with you. So we're just gonna go. Got something for work here. Hey James, blah blah blah. Okay, all right. So again, my turn. I'm going to go ahead and move up a little bit more. And what I ended up doing was I ended up moving my Wolf Riders around to try to threaten his War Machine at this time. I think he tried to block me at that point. But I started moving up my Squig Hoppers, and I decided, you know what, he's going to... If you could see it right now, if you see what I see, kind of deal. He could go for my War Machines and my Orcs. And that's about 180 plus like 180, so about 360 points in that back line where I have shooting potential, right? But if he gets that and doesn't get my Orc Horde and my Trolls, he's not going to do enough. Whereas my Orc Horde and my Trolls and my Spider are going for his Sword Bastards, his Spearmen, his Elaine Reavers, and all that, and his Bolt Throwers, I might be able to pull out way ahead. So I decided to just leave my orcs, like my crossbows and my war machines, and I'm like, you know what, maybe they could get a couple shots in, maybe they could hold off, but at the same time, I am not going to go ahead and spend all my resources trying to stop the ambush, trying to stop these flying guys getting in. I'm just going to go forward. So magic phase, I think I got 3 dice, I might have got 5 dice, who fucking knows. Anyways, I go ahead and I throw a spell, and he dispels it with his Dispel Scroll. I think I tried to do Zap, and then on his Sword Bastards, and he dispelled it. So I go ahead and I do Evil Eye instead, and when I did Evil Eye, he's like, he let it go through, and I end up killing off like 5 Sword Masters, and he's just like, ooh, that's a nasty little spell you got there. Over here, I end up doing the Chicken Rocks Web Flinger, and it misfires. It takes a wound. The other Web Flinger hits these guys again, but doesn't. I think it might have killed 1 guy, maybe 1, if he had 1. I don't think so. Over here, my Rock Lobber is going to go ahead and shoot at the War Machine again, and it freaking drifts off this way. And then I end up using my Crossbow Orcs, and I just kind of was like, you know what? I gotta just do this because I gotta get rid of that 1 guy and get my points. And boom! They took out the single bitch with a bow left, and I was hoping for panic checks. Nobody panicked. They're gonna stick there. And it's gonna go ahead and start off his turn. Highborn Elves turn 2. Highborn Elves turn 2. He's gonna charge into my chaff, and I put the chaff here. Originally, I put the chaff behind him. He moved his Elaine Reavers in front of me, so I couldn't go past. So I decided to move this way as chaff, so I could move my trolls closer and threaten him. Right? So he's going to go ahead and charge it to my dogs, which is kind of part of my plan. I was like, all right, he actually took the bait. I didn't think he would. He goes ahead, and this is the crazy part. He charges in his whole fucking flying circus. He has Warhawks. He has his General on a Griffin. He has his BSB on a Warhawk. He has his Frost Phoenix. I don't think the Frost Phoenix charged in, but he charges all of them into my orcs, and I just stand and shoot, and I couldn't do a fucking wound. Not 1 fucking wound. And he gets in like this. He got his General in. He got his Warhawks in. His BSB failed, and it created this big issue. He failed, and he left his flank open to the A-Rock. So he's like, shh. shit. So he starts moving his Knights and his Frost Phoenix based on the fact that he has to countercharge my A-Rock. He's already thinking ahead. Now, looking back at this, and he also ambushed his Sea Guard like we thought he would. So the one thing that I failed here that I honestly think I need to fix up is being able to turn the A-Rock so she could protect the Orcs if they stuck. That was the one thing I think I failed on. It would have gave the A-Rock a side charge onto his general. That would have been cool, but failed that. And this is how the table looks over here. He ends up moving his sword bastards back a couple inches, and because he didn't want me charging in with my trolls. And basically this is how it looks. And then over here, he moves his Lane Reavers in front of Koopa, who was coming on the hill. Magic Phase, he got 10 power dice. He goes ahead and he throws up Shadow Miasma. I let it go through. I pretty much figured these guys were dead. So I just let it go through. And then he goes ahead into whatever else he did. I stopped or he failed it miserably. So, Shooting Phase. Shooting Phase, these guys over here, the archers, are going to start shooting at my A-Rock. They do 1 wound. Over here, these guys are going to start shooting at the War Machine. They destroy the War Machine. They panic the other War Machine so it can't move or shoot. And then these guys just destroyed my dogs. They're going to go ahead and reform facing, I think, the trolls. And then over here, he just... Look at that. 3, 6, 7 orcs bite the bullet. But they stick on a steadfast of a 6 because he's causing fear. I think he's causing fear. If not, they stuck on a steadfast of a 7. And that's about it. It's going to go ahead and start off Orcs and Goblins, turn 3. Orcs and Goblins, turn 3. I charged the Chicken Rock into the Lane Reavers. Now, here was my goal, was to charge them here. Hopefully, they fail their terror check. They don't. But I was hoping they fail their terror check and run, and then it leaves Koopa the flank of his spearmen, and then the trolls into the front of the spearmen. But those fuckers stuck. That sucks. So I end up charging the trolls in anyways. I'm like, fuck it. Like, fuck the bullshit. I'm gonna go in. They're like, the trolls are not scared of some 20 spearmen. That's just pathetic. And I decided to go here with the A-Rock. The A-Rock's gonna charge it to his BSB, and my opponent's like, fleet. And I was like, fuck! I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. I was thinking it's like a 10-inch charge. He's gonna stand. I have a good chance. I have like a 30-something% chance of getting in, and I fail it. But no, he freaking fled, and the other guys are exactly too far away for me to redirect into anybody, so the A-Rock's going to have to fail charge. He flees his BSB back that way, but what he did not see, and yes, I just said Nazi. What he did not, I tried to redirect into his Phoenix, but it would still fail. Come on, give me the next picture. What he did not see was this, that my Orcs were in range of his BSB now, and I charge him and I push his BSB even further away. Get the hell away from your general. Get the hell away from everything. I want your BSB out of the game. His BSB is going to fly that way, and it was kind of like a pinball move, but at the same time I was like, wait a second. Since I did that, I'm going to have to fail a charge here. What the hell am I going to do with the Orcs? I'm like, well, you know what? The Orcs can see the flank of those archers over there, so I'm going to redirect into those archers over there. And he's like, oh, shit. And if I hit that unit, that's a mage, that's the messenger, that's the archers, and then it'll give me great positioning to charge into something else in the following turn, or even potentially overrunning into his Knights of Rima. So he was like, fuck that, and he fled this way, and I was just like, fuck, I can't redirect anymore. Oh, man. And I didn't catch him, obviously. What ends up happening, though, as you can see in this picture, since I failed the charge, I end up in the forest, and this leaves me a very, very, very dangerous spot. This leaves me a spot where he could charge my flank with his sword masters. It just happens to be that he sees majority in my flank because how wide he is. So I tried to limit that by putting the squig hoppers in the way, but I really couldn't get any further than what it is right there. And I end up moving Koopa this way because if he does charge in, I'm going to be able to attack later on with Koopa. But what ends up happening is I'm going to have to figure out a way to limit how many guys he has, and let's do that by magic. So Magic Phase got 6 power dice, and I go ahead and I do a zap, and he's like, which one is this? Is it the little one you did? And I was like, no, it's not. It's a 2d6 strength 5, and he lets it go through because he was actually more worried about my 3d6 strength 3 ones. So he lets this one go through, and it kills off 6 of his guys. Now they have a front charge instead of a flank. I go ahead and I do the evil eye, and he stops this one, and it's a blurry ass picture. He stops. Close combat over here. The Chicken Rock kill 4 of the Reavers. And I decided, I don't think I even chased. I think I just wanted to turn a bit, but I might have chased. I think I did chase, actually. And then I go ahead and I do the Troll combat. He goes ahead and swings first. First off, they fear me. Second off, since I got the Orc spell off, I ended up using the reroll 1s to wound on these guys. And so he fears me. I'm hitting him on 3s, wounding him on 2s, and re-rolling 1s. He goes ahead and swings all his attacks. He only does 2 wounds that go through my regens. I go ahead and I attack back, and oh shit, man. I don't even have a picture of it, but out of 20 guys, there was like 5 guys remaining, or 4 guys remaining. Holy shit, my trolls cleaned house. Holy crap, that was disgusting. So they're going to go ahead and run. Now, when they run, I decide I want to stick. I want to turn around, face the Sword Masters, and deal with that threat right there with my trolls. My trolls had their mind of their own. They made up their mind. They were like, we're going to continue chasing these guys. And I was like, no, don't chase them. So I try to roll to see if they could restrain. They fail. I am too far from my BSB, so they have to chase, and they end up chasing them this way. They don't even catch them. They just end up chasing them this way. Now, on the plus note, they're not giving up a flank to the Sword Bastards, so that's okay. Over here, he continues destroying my freaking Orcs. I can't even reform into ranks because of the way he has me spread out. But basically, I'm going to lose this unit soon. You know that's coming. And it's going to go ahead and start off turn 3 Highborn Elves. Turn 3 Highborn Elves. He's charging his Sea Guard into my War Machine. He's charging his Knights and his Frost Phoenix into my A-Rock. And that's about it. He fails to rally. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He does not it. He charges here. And this is what we said. You know, we figured it out after he lost so many guys. He failed to have my flank anymore, so he's going to charge it to the front of my Orcs. I'm probably getting hate mail right now from like some chick, actually. I'm looking at my voicemail, or not my voicemail, my text messages. Anyways, so he gets in here to the front. Here we go. He failed to rally his BSB, so the BSB continues to run, but when he goes to run, it's like on 3 dice his rally test, and he rolls and it's like 11. Any combination of 11, and he's just like, shit, and he can't re-roll it because he is the BSB, so he goes to roll the dice on the distance, and he rolls like a 4. So he's like, what the hell? It's like, it was been backwards. It was so backwards. So he rolls a 4, so he's on the table, alright, but then his archer block with his messenger and his mage roll an 11 on the rally test, and then they roll like a 7 or something, and it pushes them into the BSB, into his War Machine, and off the table. Oh my god, he was measuring it like every angle, like, oh, they could probably stay on. I'm like, nah, dude, I think they're gone. And he's just like, yeah, they're gone. I don't blame him. I would do the same thing. Alright, over here. Oh god, this is disgusting. We gotta go Magic first. Yeah, Magic Phase. He gets 10 power dice and channels 1. And he gets off a Beast Within. He does it with double 6s. So I'm hoping that actually he might. I think he did like 4 dice or something. So I'm actually hoping, even though he gets Beast Within off, maybe he'll kill a bunch of his Knights with the miscast, right? So I let it go through. He does it. He takes a wound onto his mage, and he ends up killing off 1 knight. That's not horrible. Over here, he ends up killing off my War Machine. Over here, now here's my goal. I have 1 wound on me. He is going to probably be like strength. I think might be strength 8, might be strength 7. But he is swinging first. He's hitting me on 2s. He's wounding me on 3s minimum. And I'm swinging last. But if he could go ahead and do all of his attacks, and if I could weather the storm for 1 round, I'm putting every single attack I have onto that Phoenix. Because I know for a damn fact my A-Rock could kill a Phoenix. I've done it before, time and time and time again. So I'm going to go ahead and try to do this, right? And he goes ahead and he swings and he does all his attacks, and pretty much every single one of them hit. He goes for all his wounds, and he freaking killed me down to the wound! To the wound with those Knights! Ah, I've never seen the A-Rock get chumped as bad except for that one time my brother hit me with the freaking Kadali's Maul. Anyways, close combat over here. He ends up picking out my messenger, specifically my messenger, with his sword bastards. He's figured, basically, if I got to the other side with a table with my messenger, I basically win the game. A game actually ends when your messenger gets off the table. Okay? So he killed my fucking messenger, then he killed my goblin shaman, and he ends up only killing off like a couple more guys. Now the one thing that scared me shitless this whole fight was I'm in the forest. So if he does enough wounds to me and I don't do it back, I'm gonna lose combat. I do have 2 banners, 3 ranks. He has a banner, no ranks. But with sword bastards, they're such a shredding unit. They're gonna hit me on 2s or 3s, and they're gonna freaking decimate my guys, right? So I'm like, holy crap! So I am lucky he picked out my characters because he didn't do the wounds didn't go beyond those characters, but at the same time he did take out my messenger, which is gonna cost me objective points. I go back, I end up killing off 9 of his guys. 9! So I did win combat. He's going to run. I am going to chase. I chase down the unit. It leaves me in a very favorable position, especially since his BSB is still there. Still there. I think, no, he didn't rally yet. Over here, he ends up destroying my freaking Orcs. I end up putting on 2 wounds onto his Warhawks, though. They're going to finally run. He chases with his Warhawks. He turns his general around. And then, over here, I end up... Oh, it's my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn. I think 4 this was. Maybe. I don't know. I'm like, you know what? I gotta claim my points while I can still do it. I don't want these single characters living out the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and charge the A-Rock into his Elaine Reaver. The Elaine Reaver pushes off the table. Actually, I think it's still on the table. I think he rallied. I end up pushing off the... First, I think I pushed off his sword spearman. Then I pushed off... I'm gonna go ahead and try to get the Elaine Reaver, and I do. And it goes in like this. The trolls are stupid, though. The trolls are definitely going to stumble forward, so I go ahead and I use Koopa for a turn to collect the trolls, and I'll be able to turn them around the next turn and keep them in the game somewhat, instead of them just being stupid and running into the back of the table the whole time. And over here, I decided to... I think I tried to charge into his War Machine. I was too far from his BSB, so I tried to charge into his War Machine, and I failed the charge. So Magic Phase, what I end up doing is I end up doing a zap, and, and I blew the fucker up. Oh, man, that's awesome. But that's all I have for Magic. Over here, close combat, I kill this guy. Oh, I think all my shooting is done. And it's going to go ahead and start off Highborn Elves turn... Come on, don't freeze on me. Highborn Elves turn 4. Highborn Elves turn 4. He basically moves a couple of his guys up towards my rear side. He does rally his BSB finally, but it's in a bad spot. Magic Face, he got 9 power dice, and he goes ahead and... that's a blurry-ass picture. I don't even know what the hell happened here. I think he did Beast Within or something like that. I don't really care, and I don't really stop anything. I don't think anything really matters. He's trying to... I mean, you could kind of tell in this blurry picture what he's trying to do. He's trying to get his Phoenix, his Knights, and his General into my Orc unit and just start destroying me, because overall, alone they can't handle me, but together they might. And plus his BSB is in a bad spot. Where his BSB is specifically... is 9 inches away from my unit. So I have a 50-50 chance, or not even a 50-50 chance, I have like a 30-something% chance that I actually might make that charge, and he knows it. So he goes ahead and he gives the Beast Within onto his BSB here, and he goes off. He did take a wound on his BSB from a DT a long time ago, I forgot to mention that. But it's going to go ahead and start off Orcs and Goblins turn 5, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going for it. Charge! Orcs are going in. If I had a Wog, I would call it out so I could get some fucking Swift Stride action, but I don't. So I'm going to charge into his BSB, and he's just like, if I run, I'm off the table. But it'll leave you in a bad spot. But I would be steadfast. I would be definitely steadfast against all those units. And if I'm steadfast, I'll turn around, and he has to deal with Spear Orcs in the face. That's nasty. So he decides he's going to stand, hopefully you get combo charge in the next turn, and boom! The Orcs get in. Holy shit, they made the 9 roll, and one thing he didn't know, or he didn't really estimate, was the fact that I had the banner of speed. So it gave me an extra inch. So I didn't need a 10, I needed a 9. He was just like, fuck. And then over here, you could see I just kind of moved the Chicken Rock, the Trolls, I moved the Squig Hoppers. I'm facing this way, and this picture right here is awesome, because For some reason, we started the game on one side, on the other side, and now we're on the opposite sides of the table. I'm all over his side of the table. He's all over my side of the table. And it's only like turn 4. Oh, man. Magic, I think I tried to do a zap into his bolt thrower. It didn't go off. I'm sorry. This is just showing you that I got in. Magic phase, I got 6 power dice. I tried to do a zap, it didn't go off. I go ahead and I do get him lads onto onto his BSB, and it goes through. Shooting phase, I shoot my web launcher into these guys. I want them to still take DTs. And then close combat. Close combat over here. This is probably the dumbest move I made all tournament, but he goes ahead and he challenges with his BSB. Now I do have 3 ranks, 2 banners. That's already a 5 and a charge. Already a 6 on combat res versus his BSB. Okay, so he did put the beast within, so he's a little bit stronger. He might have, I think he had like a potion of strength. I don't know what he had. He had something on his BSB, and I'm just like, he has the potential of killing my general if I accept with my general. If I attack with a champ, he'll chomp my champ, get 4 wounds easily, right? And then I'm only winning by 2, and that's kind of just pushing my luck. If I accept with my BSB, he'll kill my BSB, maybe. I don't know. But it was the fear of him, it was the fear of him actually sticking. If he sticks, then he's getting a rear charge with all those units, and that's going to be very bad for me. It's going to be bad business. So I decided to decline the challenge. I should have accepted with my general, but I decided to decline the challenge because I figured he's going to have to deal with all these orcs re-rolling to hit with lethal strike on him. He goes ahead and he uses this as his opportunity. He's like, who am I touching? And I go, my BSB. And boom! He kills my BSB. Oh, his BSB just like wailed on my BSB. Killed like another guy with a stomp or something, or the eagle. And then I just go ahead and I decimate his BSB. I'm going to overrun, and I don't run far enough into his bolt thrower. I don't think I do. And it's going to go ahead and start his turn 5. And at his turn 5, he's just like, you know what? He's like, you got this game. If I move in, you're just going to get more points. So this is how the table looks. He basically notices that bolt thrower is dead. He's going to just try to take a couple pot shots into somebody, and think it's a Koopa maybe. No, he can't even do it. It's a Koopa. Koopa's too far. But at this moment right here, too, Gene is playing his game, and Gene's just like, James, he's like, it looks like you got this. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's just like pointing at me. He's like, you got this. And his opponent just tabled Gene. I mean, tabled him. So Gene was like my #1 threat on the ONG, best of ONG. So I was just like, and my mic cut out. But, yeah, so like I was saying, Gene was my opponent for best ONG, but he's out of the picture now. I go ahead and I turn around. Woghammer's right behind me, and I go, how'd you do? And he's like, his opponent tabled him. So I was like, oh crap. So the next person up on the list for the best ONG was actually Joe from Highborn. So I was just like, you know what, Joe, how did you do? And he's like, I tabled my guy. And I was like, fuck. With him tabling his guy, he actually gets 80 points. So that means I need to do above 11 points. Now, if you look at the table right now, yeah, I got his BSB, he got my BSB, but if you start looking at all the math, he got probably like 360 plus a banner, and he got like one of the A-Rocks, which is 255, and he got my BSB, and he got one of my Shamans, and he took out my Messenger, so neither one of us is getting the objective for that, but at the same time, I got around the same amount of points as he does. I do have a little bit more, and I'm going to exactly around 11 points. So I'm like, shit. So anyways, this is me, how it looks after this turn. I'm going to go ahead and charge into his bolt thrower, finish off the bolt thrower, and basically that's the end of the game. We both kind of decided, like, we got one turn. You could try to charge in, but it's probably not for the best interest of my opponent for him to try to charge in at this moment because I'm just too far away. I'll be steadfast. I basically will eventually win that combat on 2 turns. So he's just like, yep. He goes, that's about it. So, that's the end of the game. We add up all the points, and I got 11 fucking points. I am losing to Joe from Highborn by 1 point. He's at 80, I'm at 79. I'm like, at battle points, and I'm like, fuck! I'm probably going to lose the best ONG to him. I don't know. I'm like sweating balls right now. I'm like, now I do know that there's a couple things that go on, the additional points that help your score. And all the tournaments in the U.S. kind of do this stuff. They do sportsmanship, they do paint, they do, sometimes they do, like, if you donated, for canned foods or some shit like that, whatever, right? So they add additional points in for your participation in the game. Now, all in all, Joe is like the funnest guy to play ever. He's just a good sportsman. He's just a good player. He's just a good. So I know his sportsmanship scores are probably good, and people don't like playing me because I'm kind of like a rule Nazi. So they I know I probably got like a bad sportsmanship score. Anyways, so then I end up doing. I'm like, all right, well, not looking forward to sportsmanship pushing me down, but at the same time, like looking at paint, Joe's paint's not bad. He has some great conversion work, great conversion work on his army, and that's kind of the last tournament I've seen Joe at. His army was unpainted, so it didn't, that really didn't help his score. But this time it was painted, and I'm like, oh man, this could really make or break the game right now, because he's only ahead of me by 1 point. If he could tie me on a paint score, or if I don't do more than 1 point more than him, basically the best ONG is going to him. There's nobody else in contention for best ONG besides me and Joe. So it's like, oh man. I'm like walking around telling people like, I lost by 1 point. I lost by 1 point. I know I lost by 1 point. Man, did not get any freaking secondary objectives. Did not claim more points. If I would have accepted the challenge with my general, I would have been able to. I would have been able to keep those points and probably had 2 or 3 points more instead of like that swing with my BSB. God, man. Anyways, MVP for this game goes to the Orc Horde. The Horde. Man, they were just like it says, running around scaring them pointy ears. Man, they killed everybody. They basically took all the points in this whole game. So I'm gonna go over the points specifically on every unit. Now I do this in every tournament videos I do, where I add up how many points they've done this round, how many points they've done in the total tournament, and then how many times did they die, and really where do they fall into place by points. Sometimes it might shift based on how many times they died. Like if somebody died but they got all the points, and then somebody lived and got a good chunk of points, I might give it to the person who lived all those games because they have point denial. But let's go by one. So in 12th place, which is no shocker to me, is my Wolf Riders. I don't even have a good clear picture of the Wolf Riders. The Wolf Riders got 40 points for killing those 5 dogs in this picture, and that's it. And basically they died every game. Basically, I put them there so that they could be chaff. I try to take bare minimum 65-point dogs. Bare minimum, because that's all they're worth to me, is the loss of 65 points. But they did their job. I pretty much in almost every single game, except for the one against the Empire, they did their job. They did exactly what they were meant to be, which was a roadblock or a redirector. In 11th place was my other redirector, the Squig Hoppers. But you know what? Look at this. The Squig Hoppers got 424 points total. That is fucking nuts. That is insane. Those guys could do some damage. Holy shit. And I honestly think I need to start getting another unit or 2 of Squig Hoppers in, because that's insane. They actually died in 4 games. They didn't die in the last game. Next up would be the Rock Lobber. The Rock Lobber got 10th place, and unfortunately, I thought this would be a lot higher. Usually, my War Machines end up like in 4th or 5th place, or even 3rd place, but the Rock Lobbers did not. They ended up getting only 593 points in all 3 games, or all 5 games, excuse me, and they died in 4 out of 5 games, or 4.5 games. Only 1 Rock Lobber lived in 1 game. Anyways. Over here in 9th place, then Tooth's Crossborks. Crossborks, they got 111 points this round. They died a total of 4 games. They got a total of 634. Game 2, they did wonderful. They did great in Game 2, which I got to give them a lot of credit for. In 8th place, which is the biggest disappointment so far in this tournament, was the A-Rock. And I don't really think she did that bad. She did 1,796 points. This round really didn't help, because this round there was barely any points spread out between any of the units, to be honest. She only died 2 games. She is still a beast. I still love her to death. She is wonderful, and she made up a lot of points regardless. In 7th place goes to the Cave Trolls, and the Cave Trolls ended up taking 245 points in Spearmen, and they died a total of 1 time. They took a total of 1,874 points. And then 6th place is King Koopa! Koopa ended up taking nothing this round. Absolutely nothing this round. Big old goose egg, but took a total of 1,900 points. Died only 1 game where he ran off the table. Died by choice, might I add. In 5th place is a shocker. It's Kieran the Coyote. This game he took 860 points. Now here's the problem with this numbers. These numbers are a little skewed between Kieran, Baxter, and my general because they're in this unit that gets a chunk of points. So you're gonna see 5th, 4th, 2nd, and 1st place are all around the same amount of points because they were all in the same unit. So Kieran the Coyote did get a total of 2133. This is including his zaps, his foot of Gorks, but then on top of the fact that he was involved in the close combat that took many units. He died a total of 3 games. In 4th place, Baxter Joe. Goblin Joe. Joe, oh my god. By the way, Joe is named after Joe from Joe Hammer. But Joe, this round took 295 points, and this guy has been the biggest game changer in all my games. Those green moons decimated units. The evil eyes picked off units. The freaking hexes messed with units. And I gotta give the goblin spells so much credit. Just the little tweaks that they did made a huge difference in how the goblin spells are played. I would rather play goblin spells than shadow spells, which you asked me a couple months ago. I would rather play shadow spells than goblin spells. But Joe definitely got 294 points this game, total 2133, and died 3 games. In 3rd place, the Chicken Rock, the Mega Chicken Rock, Chicken Head, Skarsnik, and the Chicken Rock took 85 points this game, which is the unit of Elaine Reavers, but took 2,713 points. Almost took the tournament MVP. Died a total of 1 time. Took a whole game where he decimated pretty much the whole army. He basically killed in this picture those Varguys, those skeletons, those zombies, and then eventually those Graveguard. The Chicken Rock is a beast. Combined together with the A-Rock's points, they take 1st place. Combined together between the 2 spiders, that's 500 points of spiders, but they took a total together 4,400 or 4,500 points. That's crazy. Holy shit. Oh man, that's talking about web launchers, that's talking about multi-wounders, that's talking about destroying units, taking banners, and just decimating units. 2nd place, which was the biggest shocker to me, the biggest shocker was the Orc Horde. The Horde took a total of 778 points. They took a total this round 778 points. They took total 3,096, and they did not die a single game. Every single game they were a force to be reckoned with. I know a lot of people were always like, why don't I use my savages, why don't I use my orcs more? The game changer here is the general in the front. The general being in the front changes how many points that unit could take and how confident I am in the ability of the unit. So that being said, 1st place, you guys gotta have the process of elimination. Who took 1st place? It's Boss Rocksteady. Boss Rocksteady in the front took 778 points, which is the same as the Orcs in this round, but died a total of 0 times. He took a little bit more points than the Orcs did because he was in those challenges where he fought, or he got a little bit more damage done. But overall, he took a total of 3,200 points, 3,218, and he is the tournament MVP. That general right there with his giant warhammer and his giant metal jaw just destroyed the competition. Anybody going up to the Orc Horde had to deal with him, and when they dealt with him, he just held it down. He didn't die a single time, and he was just a beast. Gotta give him credit. Guys, that is the end of Buckeye Battles Tournament 2016. Now, we're going to go over the awards. We're going to go over how everybody did, and I'm going to show you. I got a bunch of pictures more. Don't worry. It's not over yet. It's not over yet, guys. So, right here, this is a picture of a bunch of the guys from Chicago that were at the tournament. I think we're missing Fergus in the picture. No, Fergus is in the picture. He just looks shorter than normal. Fergus is actually a very tall guy, so I think he might be like kneeling down or squatting or curtsying, or I don't know what the hell he's doing in this picture. But anyways, as you can see, that's the guys on the top left. Those are the guys from the WCW. That's Len the Tyrant. That's why am I drawing Brian Hughes. I was trying to blank on Brian's name. There's Brian, Joel, Fergus, And then next to them on the right, in the blue shirt, that is Dan, which is the high elf player I always play. Then it's my brother Jesse. In the front row, besides me, I'm the one in the white shirt, but besides me, and I don't know why I look so chubby in this picture, the guys in the front, they made up their own team, which is called the Stormcast Eternals. And they made this really shitty banner. I love it. It's so awesome, but it's so shitty. It's just like drawn like little kid drawings, and it's like all of them are like in a heavy metal band. Anyways, that's Chris Walker on the left. That's Jake motherfucking Murphy with the red hat on. Always has that hat on, might I add. That's Tyler Hershey and Grant Fetter. Now, as you can see, they had a raffle, and in the raffle they kind of gave out a bunch of awards, and I didn't take pictures of who took every award, but this guy right here won the big ass axe. It is literally labeled big ass axe. Here's a picture of Joel talking about the WCW tournament that's coming up in November. If you guys are in the States, you guys should go to this tournament. I'll be there. WCW, they're running their own tournament, and it's a great tournament to go to. People are dressed up as wrestlers. There's a bunch of wrestling themed things going on at that tournament, and it's just a blast. And it's one of those tournaments you got to stay at the hotel that they're playing at, because it's just so much fun. You don't want to leave. All right, so this is Jeff Parkhurst. He's talking about, he wanted basically everybody who has something to contribute to the Ninth Age, community. If you're in the Army book communities, if you're in the content team, if you're in the executive board, if you have something there that you contribute to the actual Ninth Age, come on stage and check this out. There's just this huge amount. I mean, there was 100 players, 98 players to be exact, but 100 players at Buckeye battles. All right, 100 players, and out of 100, you could count right now. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 people. That's almost 20%. All right, so 17% of the people there, not including Vince, whose head's right in this picture, who has something to contribute to the Ninth Age. That's crazy. That's impressive. That's really impressive. And I don't know why everybody's staring at me while I'm pointing at the man, Chris, right there, who is part of who's the team captain for ETC. So they're going to go ahead and go over the awards. Now they have a bunch of awards. They have best paint, they have best sports, they have best general, best overall, they have best army races. So the first one they call out is best paint, and boom! I win it. I was like, holy shit! Like right there and there. And I was kind of like, part of the thing is some of these events, they give out only one award. You can't win more than one award. You can't double up. So I was just like, man, if I won best paint, that means Joe took the best Orc and Goblin general. So I'm like wondering about that. We'll see what happens when it comes down to it. This is Chris pointing at me, telling me, I don't know why my brother took a picture of me turning around, but this is Chris pointing at me, telling me, go over there, take a picture with that guy. I'm like, all right, fine. So he takes a picture, boom, got me with my Mirror's Miniature 40 pounds gift certificate for some Bane Beasts, and I got to look through it and see what's worth a damn to go on that. But anyways, right here, this is Jeremy, and Jeremy won. Oh my god, he just sent me what he won because I couldn't remember what the hell he won. Oh, he got Player's Choice. He got the Player's Choice Award. So this is Jeremy. He definitely got the Player's Choice Award. Now, this guy right here, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. I actually had to ask my ETC team, like, if anybody knew this guy, because I don't know who he is. So I'm gonna scroll up for a bit and look for these pictures that I sent to everybody. Sorry. Oh man, come on. There we go. There's the pictures. Who is this guy? And he said this was Brian Amburn. I cannot read what he won. I don't know what he won. But this is Mike motherfucking Hernandez. This is our Empire player for Team Grease. He won Best General. He had the best battle points. He won this giant war axe. Here's another picture of his war axe. That thing is a thing of beauty. I wonder how many weapons this guy has in his house. Because I have a picture of him at Okan. I have a picture of him at Blood in the Sun. He always wins weapons. You know? So it's like, how many weapons does this guy have in his house? And what does his wife say every time he comes home? He's like, honey, I got a new axe. You know? Like... You know, in a zombie apocalypse, I want to be inside this guy's house. I'm just saying. Just saying. Oh, man. So then he's about to walk off the stage, and they were like, guess what? You won something else. And he won something else. And I got a picture of that as well on what did he win. Oh, man. He won Best General and best overall in third place. So he won third place overall. Second place, boom, Jake motherfucking Murphy. Jake Murphy came out of left field, popped a huge win on the last game, and he got his sportsmanship votes because this guy's great. You know how great Jake is. Jake motherfucking Murphy. I said even when you don't play him and they give you the option of best to vote who is your favorite opponent, you still want to put him down because he's that nice of a guy. And we made up this whole thing that we're always going to vote for him even if we didn't play him. But Jake won best sportsmanship and second place. Or I think he did win best sportsmanship. I don't know. Anyways, we'll see. Might have won. Somebody else won best sportsmanship. So I left first place. Okay, and if you guys remember what I said in the beginning of the video, I said that basically Andrew Sherman and Mr. Once Bitten were going head to head for first place on table 1. And this is not Mr. Once Bitten. This is Mr. Andrew Sherman from Ohio Hammer Podcast. Andrew Sherman had a massive, massive day. He tabled every single opponent he played, and there was no way in hell anybody was close enough to catching up to him. He had those points locked down. He played an Empire Army, so he definitely won first place overall. Going into the Army specifics, we're going to start off with Beast Herds, and Beast Herds, Mr. Once Bitten himself won. I love his pose here, by the way. He has a very dynamic pose with his plaque. So he won first place, or I'm sorry, best Beast Herd Army. Best Demon Legions went to Mr. Andrew. I cannot pronounce your last name, Andrew, so if you're watching this video, I'm sorry, but Andrew W. won Best Demon Legions. Best Dread Elf Army went to Jake motherfucking Murphy. With his second place win. So once that happened, I realized, oh shit, you can win 2 awards. Actually, I think I realized that with Mike and Andrew. So this guy right here, he won the best Dwarven Holds because I could barely read it, but let's find out who he is. He is... I don't know him. I never played him specifically, to be honest. So, best Dwarven Holds. Come on, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Boom, 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 boom. I'm scrolling through War Score. Brad Cash Dollar. His name is really Cash Dollar. I want clarification on this, guys. If you guys know this guy, is his last name really Cash Dollar? I actually know one of my trainers, his name is Cash, Patrick Cash. But this guy right here, his name is Cash Dollar. Wow. Alright, Mr. Andrew Sherman won Best Empire Player. Over here, this is Mr. Joe Finlayson. I totally butchered his name on like 2 videos ago, but this is definitely Joe with his Highborn Elf Army. Now this is actually pretty impressive because the Highborn Elf players were the most players that came to the game. I think like 17 or 16 armies out of all 100 players were Highborn Elves, and they took the majority, right? But majority of the Highborn Elf players stayed in the middle between like the mid 20s to like 50 to 60 range, and then there's a couple that trickle down to the lower numbers. So they had the majority, but he was the only one to break into the top 10. He got into 8th place overall, so that's pretty impressive, Joe, and that guy's awesome. Now I keep on calling him Fake Fox because he looks exactly, and I'm gonna fucking put a picture of Fake Fox or Real Fox, and he looks exactly like my friend Fox. He does. Check this picture out. You cannot tell me he doesn't look like my friend Fox. So that's Fake Fox. Anyways, I showed this picture to everybody there, and they're like, yeah, that's your like twin. Anyways, Mr. Jeremy Gottchalk from ETC team. He took the best Infernal Dwarf Army. He took 4th place overall too. Mr. Ozer Sewer. He took, what army were you playing, Ozer? Shit. Well, let's see if this is Infernal Dwarves before you. And who's after you? I think Ogre Cons. What the hell army were you playing, Mr. Ozer? I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of kick him through the armies now. Oh, why have I don't know what army you play, dude. Kingdom of Equitane. Okay, there you go. So you got the best Kingdom of Equitane award. Now, it is in alphabetical order, and you did notice that I'm going to Ogre Cons, and I'm going to skip Orc and Goblins. You're going to see why. Anyways, so Mr. Chris Walker destroyed Ben Nelson at the last game, and he took on the best Ogre Cons, and this destroyed my brother. My brother was the whole ride home from Ohio to Chicago. I could not say a word to my brother. He was pretty pissed that I came home with an award, and he was just kind of like, not pissed, but he was just kind of like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, right? So at that time, I started playing Pokemon Go because Pokemon Go came out, and I was just like, I'm in the car catching Pokemon. Fuck this shit. Anyway, Mr. Chris Walker took Best OgreCon. Mr. Justin Jones from Hoylismad. I don't even know how to say the name of your YouTube channel. Hoylismad? Hoylismade? Something like that. Something around there. But anyways, he took Best Saurian Ancient. Over here, this is, oh man, I know your name, but I don't know your name. He took the Best Sylvan Elf Army. I'm going to go ahead and look this up really quick. I have to hurry this video up before my trainer comes back. Phil Carl. Phil Carl took Best Sylvan Elf Army. Over here, this guy took the Best Vermin Swarm Army. And I think he was the only Vermin Swarm Army, to be honest, which is kind of like Catch-22. Bill Miner, we played him in the first game of the team tournament. Now, Mr. Justin Chandler came out of nowhere, took the Best Undying Dynasties, and then Mr. Prince Mintz took Best Vampire Coven. And then over here, this is the opponent that fought Gene in the last game. He took Best Warriors of the Dark God. I don't have your name, sir. I am going to have to look it up as well. No, it's not Eric Whitus. Mr. John Francis. John Francis took Best Warriors of the Dark God. He actually had a really hard lineup. He fought Justin Jones. He fought Once Bitten. He fought John Whitley and Bob Chiverney. Anyways, guys, so Best Orc and Goblin General. BAM! I got it. I took my own damn selfie. I was just like, you know what? I might as well try to do this. It's so hard to do with an actual camera that you can't see where your face is. But I did it anyways. Got the Best Orc and Goblin General. I'm coming home with 2 awards this weekend, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying through this. Whew, that's a lot. That's a long video. It really is a long video. I actually got pictures of everybody there. It was a fun time. It's probably one of the funnest tournaments I've ever gone to. One of the funnest. It was crazy to see that many people. It's crazy to see that many YouTubers. It's crazy to have. It was just good times all around. Guys, I'm going to try to wrap this up really fast because this video is going on long enough. I'm going to Greece still. Guys, I can still use some help. I am actually about 70% of the way to my goal to pay for the trip, to pay for the hotel, not including all the shit that's going on there. So guys, if you can, please help out. I only have a couple days left before I go to Greece. So if you guys can help out, please donate to my GoFundMe account. Here's the link down below in the description box. Anything helps. $5, $10, $100, whatever. Nobody's, well, actually I can't say that actually. Mr. Merrick Wolf has donated a huge donation, and I really appreciate his contribution to my funds. It really helps out, and I think it's awesome that he made his own video explaining that to help me out as well as part of the community, which is great. And it's great because it's not even a guy who plays Ninth Age. As far as I understand, he does Age of Sigmar, which is just which is even like more like awe-inspiring to me. I don't know. Anyways, guys, if you guys can, please help out. Anything really helps. If you guys are entertained by any of my videos, any of my BAMs and god damn it and fucking Koopas, you fat bastard one-liners, please contribute what you can, and it'll help me push me to go out to Greece, and hopefully if this goes well, maybe next year I'll get back into the ETC team and go to Spain and put up even more videos. Who knows? Who knows? But I have to perform well. So hopefully this weekend I don't let you guys down. I'm actually leaving this Sunday, so next weekend is when the actual ETC is going happening, and hopefully I don't let you guys down. I'm really hoping I could pull in some big W's for Team America. Anyways, besides that, I went over the MVPs, I went over the tournament MVPs, I went over that. If you guys have any comments or feedback or anything of the sort, please leave it in the comment section below. And if you guys haven't hit like and subscribe, hit like and subscribe already. Now, I was gonna do like Armies on Parade video like I did last time for Brawlers Bash and Ocon. But what ended up happening was I still have a bunch of these pictures up for the different armies, but I ended up having I was watching Gene Phelps' video from Wargaming from the Balcony, and he ends up having this video where he's showing all the armies on that he saw that he liked, as well as I believe Ben Nelson did it too. So I didn't feel like just doing it for the third time. You guys are going to see this anyways. If you guys want, I'll put up both videos for Ben Nelson and Gene. Actually, I don't think Ben Nelson has his up yet, but he's going to do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that up there so you guys can watch their videos and see what kind of armies are up there. There were some beautiful armies out there. Guys, it cannot be a Shyhammer video, and it cannot be the 100th battle report without a goddamn ambulance. There it is at the end of the video. Alright, guys. Anyways, I'm going to eat lunch. I'm going to work out. I'm going to work on my legs. And I think that's about it, guys. I hope you're enjoying this. I cannot wait to put up number 101 videos and keep going from that, and especially my ETC videos I'm looking forward to. Guys, wish me luck, and I will see some of you in Greece. Take care, and peace.